What up guys, Jonathan with TLD bringing you guys the full review to the Google Nexus S manufactured by Samsung. This is the follow-up to the Nexus 1. It comes clocked in with a 1 GHz Cortex A8 Hummingbird Processor, features 16 gigs of internal storage. It's a little disappointing, however, you cannot expand upon it. There are no micro SD card slots or anything of that nature. As far as the OS goes, we are running the latest Android 2.3 OS, codenamed Gingerbread. I'll go ahead and get more into the OS in a minute. For now, I want to jump into the display of the Nexus S, which is a 4-inch 480 by 800 Super AMOLED display. You get 235 pixels per inch, so it's not the highest resolution screen, but I got to tell you guys, the AMOLED screen does give you guys a really crisp, vibrant picture. The blacks are really deep, the text is crisp, and overall I was very impressed with the display. Now additionally, something cool with the phone, it has a contour display, so the glass is curved. So not only do you get a curve in the glass, but the phone as a whole. So I thought it would feel a little bit weird, but honestly it felt pretty natural. It also helps with viewing angles. Now you combine that with the Super AMOLED display, it makes it a really enjoyable viewing experience on the phone. It was definitely one of the stronger points of the Nexus S. Now as we move on and cover the rest of the exterior of the Nexus S, on the right side we get the power button, on the left side we get the volume rockers up and down, we get a 3.5mm headphone jack, and as you guys can see right here we get a micro USB 2.0 port. Now as far as the camera goes, we do get a 5 megapixel camera, which brings you up to a resolution of 2560 by 1920. The video, however, isn't HD. You get a resolution of 720 by 480. Now, full 720p is actually 1280 by 720, so it's kind of like makes you slap your head. You want to shake Google and Samsung. How could you guys not put HD video recording on a high-end phone like this? Especially, not only is the video not good, but the audio is absolutely terrible.
What's up guys, Jonathan with TLD bringing you guys an unboxing and video test of the new Nexus S from Google, Samsung, doing a one-handed.
So the pictures are okay. You do have some options to tweak and go through some different settings, but by far the video is the weakest point on the Nexus S, and definitely a disappointment for possibly a $500 phone if you buy it unlocked. Now when I say unlocked, you guys can pick this up for $529. No contract, no commitment if that sort of thing scares you. If you do want to grab a 2-year contract with T-Mobile, you can scoop this up for $199. Jumping back real quick to the camera, just covering that up and finishing that up, you do get a front-facing camera which is VGA quality. There's flash and autofocus, but again, the camera was probably one of the more disappointing things on the Nexus S. Moving on to the meat and potatoes of the review, we'll talk about the OS. Did you guys catch that? Meat and potatoes? Breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Food? No? Okay. Basically, I want to sum it up like this. Gingerbread plus hummingbird equals win. Now, previously, I have used a few Android devices. I've always thought they were kind of so-so. Just really didn't feel quite there. Just a little bit clunky, a little bit slow. I do use an iPhone on an everyday basis, so I do really enjoy the iOS software. However, with Gingerbread 2.3 and the hardware on the Nexus S, I was blown away with how fast it is. And honestly, it was kind of the first time I actually sat there with the phone thinking to myself, I could actually use one of these compared to the iPhone on an everyday basis. So aside from a few UI tweaks, overall the Android 2.3 Gingerbread software is a step in the right direction compared to previous OSs, and it's really promising to what we can expect from future Android phones and devices. Now, one of the things we might not really see right now, which we could really look forward to with Gingerbread, is the implementation of third-party API, which comes down to 3D rendering and graphics. So for gamings and things like that, now we have the hardware. We'll actually have the OS and the capability to take advantage of that. So that's something we should see in the near future with these Android devices. Additionally, with the Android software, maybe not new, but some of the things I really enjoyed was the Google voice recognition. Overall, the typing on the Nexus S was pretty enjoyable. I got used to that very quickly. I did like the ability to quickly turn off Wi-Fi or adjust the screen brightness compared to going on my iPhone digging through menus. That was pretty convenient. Definitely enjoyed that on the Nexus S. Next, I want to talk about the browser, which honestly was blazing fast compared to Safari. It kind of kicked its butt as far as the speed goes. It was kind of cool, I gotta admit, having Flash on there. It did drain the battery a little bit, but overall it was a nice experience. Again, with typing on the internet, the overall pinch to zoom worked very well. Web browsing was definitely one of the stronger points on the Nexus S. Now, I want to cover the Android market before I wrap this up. Obviously, it's going to pale in comparison as far as apps and games on the iPhone 4 with the App Store, but it is a step forward in the right direction. I was surprised to see how well Angry Birds ran on the Nexus S. It did run smooth, there was no lag. It looked great on the display. Obviously, it wasn't as crisp as the Retina display on the iPhone, but it is a good sign. If you guys are picking up an Android phone, you do have a lot more options as far as games and apps goes, so that's definitely a good thing to come. So overall, to wrap up this phone, the negatives would be the camera, the video quality, and the audio recording on that. Besides that, the battery life was so-so. It's not the greatest, but it's not the worst at the same time. If you conserve it, it's going to last a little bit longer, but again, it's just kind of average as far as battery life goes. On to the good things. The phone is blazing fast. 2.3 Gingerbread is great. You do get an amazing web browsing experience as far as that goes. Really kind of almost beats Safari in my opinion. So for $529 or $199 with a contract, I'd say if you're into pictures or video, hold off. If that's not a huge deal to you, with 2.3 Gingerbread, it's a great phone. Definitely impressed me, and really looking forward to the future of Android phones. Now, I know with all the technology advances, kind of the phones is kind of what we forget as far as it, because these things are kind of mini computers. But as far as the actual phone portion of this, in my area, T-Mobile is pretty strong. Ranges from 3 to 4 bars most of the time. So that will depend on the area you're in. So make sure to check that out before you go out and buy this. If T-Mobile doesn't cover you in your area, obviously you're not going to have an enjoyable experience. And again, if you want to use this on AT&T, you can only get the Edge network. However, if you do have a strong coverage with T-Mobile, this will act as a mobile hotspot, which is very cool. Another plus to the Nexus S. If you do rely heavily on pictures or video, this is not the phone for you. If you do enjoy games in the App Store, go for the iPhone. However, if you want a solid Android phone that's blazing fast, you want a lot of customization, the Nexus S is a great recommendation. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Make sure to check out all the latest videos covering the Nexus S, including the unboxing, the video test. Make sure to follow me on Twitter. Check out all those links down below, and I will catch you guys later.